Unfortunate thing occurred in 1901 with President of the United States. William McKinley was assassinated. That's always a tragedy. One of the things that came out of that is that we were absolutely lucky to have this guy as his vice president, who then took over the presidency. And what we know, enjoy, work on, and make our living on right now is largely attributable to this guy right here. One of his philosophies is this: it's not what we have that'll make us a great nation, it's what we do with it that'll make us a great nation. Absolutely true. This is how we were logging in those days. And we were absolutely had the potential to use up our entire forest system. These crews would come in here, cut everything down, snake the logs out, leave this, and move on to the next place. Then the grasses came in, because there was still some topsoil. Grasses came in where the trees had been. But then we introduced hundreds of thousands of livestock, mostly sheep, on this, which completely wiped out the grasslands. And then this sort of thing happened. This is Manti, Utah. This happened in many places throughout the West where there was no more watershed, and the mud and the snow and the rain just came down the mountain and wiped them out. People started screaming, "We need some help. This is not going to work." And in 1891, Congress passed the Forest Reserve Act, and the Forest Reserve Act allowed the President of the United States out of that public domain to carve out what became national forests, but as forest reserves. It was signed into law by Benjamin Harrison, who set aside 13 million acres. Then came Grover Cleveland, who set aside another 25 million, and then McKinley was able to set aside 7 million before he was assassinated, and then came Teddy. And if you add all those figures up, the total acreage today in the National Forest System is about 193 million acres. Most of it is right there. Forest Service was established in 1905 to start taking care of these forest reserves. The first chief of the Forest Service was a guy named Gifford Pinchot. You want to read a good book, read The Big Burn. If you haven't read it, I seriously encourage you to do that. Tells the story of Pinchot, tells the story of Pinchot and his relationship with Roosevelt, which is really fascinating. Pinchot's dad had made his money doing that logging picture at first. He'd clear cut, he was a robber baron, he was a timber baron. Gifford thought he was going to do that. His dad said, "No, you're not. You're going to fix what I trashed." And sent him to France and Germany to silviculture school, forestry school. And they came back, got the Yale Forestry School going. Pinchot would have his students take topographic maps under the Forest Reserve Act, take topographic maps, draw in what should be a forest preserve or reserve, take it over to Teddy, and I think they put it on Teddy's desk, and then the two of them, both of them loved to box. And they would go down in the basement to the gym of the White House and beat the hell out of each other for an hour, and then come up there, probably didn't take a shower, just signed off a couple of more new forests and went on about their business. And to give you an idea of what that does, that was Teddy in 1906. That's Teddy in 1905. These are just samples. This is Teddy in 1908. All of these were set aside then, and if you know what you do, the LaSalle's, a lot of it's private land. I guarantee you by the time, much longer, it would have been all private land, and we wouldn't have had the access we do today. So the Forest Reserve Act really made a difference. Agricultural appropriation. Some of the states started getting upset with the use of this and said that the states that are up there, and if you look at it closely, one of them that's not there is Utah, because Utah supported this because of the flooding and, you know, the Salt Lake Front, when you got hundreds of thousands of sheep up there and you wonder why your water is getting a little bitter, you have a clue about that. These states said, we're not going to sign the Agricultural Appropriation Act in 1907 if you don't put an end to this. So Roosevelt had till March the 7th of 1907 to sign it. So what did they do? They went back in the boxing ring. When they were through, they signed another 21 forest reserves, and he signed the bill which got them the Agricultural Appropriation Act, and what we have in the forest system today is what they had done by this point in time in 1907. Forest Service mission. It doesn't say use it all up today. It says use this in a way that meets the needs of present and future generations.